welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews.
Yep.
We're at Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode number 3. We finally get the last 2 weddings. After 3 weeks, we're concluding the weddings. Man, they need to start making this a little bit quicker.
I mean, I want all the weddings on one episode. Please.
I would love to get all the weddings on one episode. They dragging out the seasons, but nonetheless, we start with the first wedding. Brett and Ryan. We get to see the conclusion of Brett and Ryan. Brett is she's nervous.
Yes.
She is nervous. She doesn't know what to expect coming down the aisle. You see her talking to her friends, talking to her parents, talking to her dad. And we already know Ryan is I ain't gonna say he's a mess, but he's clammy or wet.
Oh my gosh. So much. He's in medical. He's diaphoretic. He is sweaty. He looks clammy. He looks like shook.
Yeah, he looked like he's shook. He's nervous, don't know what to expect. But, I mean, he's ready to go through with it.
Yes.
He's ready to go through with it. We see Brett's dad walk her down the aisle. Ryan greets Brett's dad, she shakes his hand and, said, dad was kind of like, okay, here's my daughter, take care of her.
Yeah.
He was like, man, make sure you take care of her. Well, like most fathers would do. Most fathers say, man, take care of my girl. Especially, in most cases, they already had opportunity to meet the gentleman, have conversation, have dinner, talk to him, put a fear of God in, and whatever case may be. But in this case, it is a stranger. And so dad is like, no, take care of my daughter. And Brett was like, yeah, I will. And then you see, Ryan said I will.
These guy names are going to throw you off the whole season. Let's get together.
It's going to throw me off the whole season.
Which, that's something that they talk about after the fact, too.
I'm going to have to make sure Ryan and Brett, so they messed me up. Anyway, Ryan said he's going to take care of her. Brett's at the altar. She's laughing, giddy. She's kind of like, she likes what she sees. She likes what he sees. She talks about later how she likes the fact that he has a beard.
Yes.
That she likes the beard. So, but they go through their wedding vows, and and Ryan does something. I think we talked a little bit. He doesn't say forever.
Yes.
Always.
Oh yeah.
He said, "I will try to do this. I will try to do that." So he goes into a good I want to call it vow ceremony, giving her a vow. So it was sweet. Their wedding ceremony, and they actually got a kiss. He got a kiss, a nice little peck on the lips. So. That was.
And he asked.
He asked.
Yeah, he was like, can I?
But are you supposed to ask?
In this case, normally you wouldn't. In this case, yes.
Why in this case would you ask? I'm just
saying. Because I don't know you.
But again, this is me, and I know I'm going on this real quick because Merla, when we get to her, she wanted a kiss on the cheek. When we got to her last week, she got a kiss on the cheek, and Jose and them, they kissed. But I think going into this, as a person, if I was on Married at First Sight, I would expect a kiss on the lips, even if it's just a peck. I'm not asking me to tongue you down. I'm not asking to lick your lip. None of that stuff. There's nothing wrong with a peck.
I agree, but everybody doesn't feel that way, and I think when it's a stranger, it's polite to say, "May I kiss you?" To see if they're in the same place. Like good thing for Gil and Merla, because I think if he had went straight on with her, she'd have turned her head anyway. She's not playing. But you know what I'm saying? It might have been a turn off, and that wouldn't have started them on a good path.
Yeah.
A person, not just Mirla and Gil, but I'm just saying, So I think it's polite to ask.
It's a gentleman thing. Okay, I get that. It is a gentleman thing to do to ask, and if she says no, you just
kiss her on the cheek.
Kiss her on the cheek. Okay, we kiss her on the cheek.
Or shake her hand.
No, we're not shaking hands. We're not gonna shake hands. We may kiss each other on the cheek, but we're not shaking hands. We're not shaking hands. You're my wife, or you'll be my wife. But we're not shaking hands. No, we're not gonna shake hands. Anyway, we see Ryan and Brett. They sit down after the ceremony. They walk out together. The little moment of conversation. And Ryan shares that Brett wasn't what she described. That Ryan shared that Brett wasn't what he described. Yeah,
she wasn't exactly his type.
Wasn't exactly type.
But he wasn't disappointed.
Right.
He wasn't disappointed.
It wasn't disappointed. He said it works. That it works, and he likes her sassiness.
Yes.
And she is very sassy.
She is.
She's quick with it. She's sassy. They talk about their careers. She tells them that she is a softball and volleyball coach at the high school level, and he mentions that he is working in was it an engineer?
No, oil and gas.
Oh yeah,
not an engineer.
oil and gas. So he works.
And she was like, "Oh, I'm so shocked." In other words, I mean, they're in Texas. They're in Houston. Obviously, probably a lot of people do work in oil and gas because that's what they do.
That's what they do. Oil and gas in Texas.
Yeah.
Everything's big in Texas, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's big in Texas. So they discussed that, and and one thing Brett did mention that was the fact that she likes that they could she has summers off because he doesn't work from home. He doesn't go into office, but he roams. Basically, what he said, he roams, and they have time to spend with each other and do things of that nature. One thing that was kind of disturbing was that Brett is not into the country life.
Oh yeah, because you're fast forwarding, so because they take their pictures and everything, and
but the pictures were nothing; they were awkward. I mean, they had great pictures.
Yeah,
he didn't have to warm up. He didn't have to warm up to her. He really embraced her. They took the picture with the families. And they took pictures, and it was like they genuinely seemed happy together.
Yeah, the pictures look nice. And so yeah, fast forward to like the little reception or whatever, and go ahead.
No, fast forward to the reception, whatever, and she is not feeling the country music whatsoever.
Yeah, their first dance, they have the country music. She was like, I don't know how to two-step. I don't listen to country music. When she talks to his friends, his groomsmen later, she was like, I probably couldn't name you 2 country songs. I don't know about the ranch life. I just don't know.
She's not into that country lifestyle, which made me think, okay, we don't know. What kind of lifestyle is Brett into? She ain't into country music. What is she listening to?
That's what I was like, let me find out. She's like Olivia going to the Lil Wayne concert.
She's probably into pop, probably might a little bit of hip hop. I mean, she works with freshmen. She worked with 9th graders in high school, right?
Yeah.
So as as an educator, she's probably diverse to everything. She listens, she hears everything.
Yeah.
Kids talk about all kind of artists and things, but she's not into the country life. She's not into the ranch. She's not into the country music. She's not into the two-step. She's not into hunting. We find out later on that she's not even into him shooting animals.
Yeah. She was like, how much, when we say ranch, like, what does that mean? He was like his friend, I think that was Ryan K.
Yeah.
He was like, I mean, like, is hunting off limits? And she was like, yeah, but I'm thinking ranch life, horseback riding, I'm thinking hunting, I'm thinking
fishing,
fishing,
4-wheeling, dirt bike riding, mudding, and trucking.
And she was kind of looking like, but I don't know about that.
But that's what he likes, though. But I mean, again, I don't know if that's going to be a major issue in their relationship. It shouldn't be, but it can expose her to different things. Now we don't know how deep she into not killing animals. Ain't nothing wrong with killing a good little deer, elk, or a little boar or something like that. Deer meat is great,
keeps the
y'all.
population down.
It keeps the population. It keeps people fed.
Until they go overboard. But the one thing that she did talk to his friends about, she talked about, okay, so am I Ryan's type? And they were like, no.
Nah.
Not before, but now. It's like, okay, when they talk to him, it's something that he could get used to. Is it something he put down on paper? Like, he's never dated a redhead. He's talking to her friends, and he was like, I never dated a redhead. And redheads are either you can pull it off or you can't. And I think she's doing well. So she's not my type, but I like it.
But he likes it.
I can roll with it.
And that's what he said. He can roll with it. And one thing, when they were sitting down having dinner, and Brett had a lot of questions. She wanted to ask him a lot of questions, but it seemed as if Ryan was just soaking up the moment. Mm-hmm. And he was like, look, we'll have time for that later.
Yeah.
We'll have time to answer all these questions later. Again, we know Ryan is a guy whose friend died recently, and he has a new focus on life. So he has a new focus. So I think he really was just soaking in the moment of, I'm married now, here's the wedding. You know what? Let's ask these questions later, and it would take care of itself. It would take care of itself. So, and plus, he likes a redhead.
And then, the one question that I told you, that I loved, she was like, have you ever dated a girl with a guy's name? And he was like, well, I mean, I dated a Tony. But never a Brett.
Never met.
That's.
I keep kicking. Look, look, that's gonna be awkward. Yo, what's your wife's name? Oh no, you married? Hey Ryan, I hear you married now. Who you married to? Brett. When you start telling people the conversation is gonna be.
That is definitely an unusual female name. Like we know a female that's got a man's name. And I was like, I think I would probably spice it up. Because I was like, that's your wife's name. That's different.
Yeah, it's gonna be spiced up. But again, I think they when they get to their room that night, you see them sitting there. They do have conversation. They didn't really dig into Brett and Ryan that much with the bedside conversation, but they did have conversation. I think this couple, looking into it at the beginning, right now, they have some things they can work on, but they might. I ain't gonna say they're gonna make it, but they're gonna have some issues because I think the issues that she's gonna have. She hadn't been kissed in 2 years. He's really gonna be over the top to me.
And at this point, she's been kissed twice.
At this point, she's been kissed twice.
I haven't kissed anybody in 2 years. At this point, I've been kissed twice.
To me, I just see some red flags. Some red flags is the honey red flag. The lifestyles don't match up. Not saying that one can't get into the lifestyle. And Ryan seemed like he used to doing things his way. Another note for all you animal lovers out there. She does have 2 dogs. He has a dog. So the dog thing was something else they can communicate on and talk about. So, again, we can't get away from animals. No. Can't get away from animals with Brett and Ryan.
I foresee an animal episode again, just like the previous season.
Yeah, so, again, she's a redhead. He mentioned that, if it wasn't to the sex situation, that if it happens, it happens. He wasn't going to push the issue with her having sex, but if it happened, it happened.
Yes.
Let's go to the next couple who was married, and we get Jose and Rachel.
Yes.
Both of them are go-getters. We see Jose first, and we watching this, and my daughter said, "Oh, Jose must go to a black barber."
Man, Jose, that fade
in that lineup, man.
That lineup was right. When he turned around to the back, that's the first thing we know. Is like, oh snap, he got a fresh cut, like fresh.
Yeah, Jose was a little nervous. He gets on the I guess a party bus or whatever case maybe with his friends. He talks to his friends about marriage and how it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. Then we see Rachel. Rachel talks about again her losing 35 pounds, which has been a big thing in her life. Which again made her stronger physically and mentally. And I can see how losing 35 pounds, you look in the mirror, you see more. You like yourself. You like what you see.
Well, not even that too, but considering, so she's lost the 35 pounds, and she said she was cheated on. So when people get cheated on, a lot of times they're thinking it was something about me that the person didn't like, and so. I think she probably was a little bit heavier then, but most of that she gained as a result after the fact. Some little depression or whatever she was going through, but she feels accomplished because I've lost this weight and I'm back to where I feel confident about myself. Because obviously somebody living with you cheating on you can break your confidence down.
During the pandemic.
Really, right.
When y'all supposed to be spending time together and with each other.
Right, we're supposed to be in our own bubble, and you done burst the bubble.
He burst the bubble and was cheating on her. So she was heartbroken. So she got herself together, lost the 35 pounds, improved mentally and physically. And she said, again, the last relationship had ended 6 months ago. So now, 6 months ago, she's getting into a wedding. And I thought about this. Okay, she was in a relationship 6 months ago, which was a really heavy committed relationship. Now, 6 months later, she's on Married First Sight getting married. Is that too soon? Because we talked about Chris. I know Chris had ended a relationship a little bit less than 6 months. But is 6 months going from ending a relationship, going to Married at First Sight, do you think that's too soon?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to give her as much trouble as they gave Chris about ending a relationship. But I think, ending a relationship in 6 months and then going into Married at First Sight, hopping to get married, I think that's just, some wounds have not ended yet. Or some wounds have not been healed yet.
Yeah.
Rachel talks about, she hopes that her mate, Jose in this case, is not boring.
Yes.
That she wants somebody kind of exciting, somebody who's willing to do things, that somebody she can talk to easily, they can have conversations, so that he's not boring, that there's some kind of interacting and talks about there. This is where Jose talks about.
Oh my gosh, poor Jose.
Jose has some issues, y'all. And
you think, okay, so based on talking, listening to Rachel, it's like, okay, so she's got some insecurity. Her confidence is up because she's lost some weight, And so then not even in contrast, a little more extreme, you go to Jose. I hope I'm appealing to her physically. You know, I got kind of a large nose. I got a big forehead. You know, he didn't say this, but he's short.
He did say that. He said that he's short. Short was the first thing. I'm short. I'm not 6 feet tall. He said.
Okay, then he said 6 feet tall, but he's short. You see that when they at the altar. I was like, hopefully Rachel's got heels on because they are looking eye to eye.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not 6 feet tall. And so again, this is the biggest thing. Here's some of the red flag for me. He mentioned it a couple times. I hope she's attracted to me sexually.
Yes.
He mentioned it a couple times.
Yes.
Which I'm sitting here thinking, man, Jose just wants to get it in.
He even said it in his vows.
Yeah, he said it in his vows. Again, as he sexual, as he called.
Right.
As he called. Jose, and I'm gonna have to go back to this. We see that Jose is a religious person. Alright? I don't know if Jose is celibate. I'm not saying if Jose is keeping himself. But this may be one of the reasons that Jose is getting married. That he wants to be able to have sex. Because there are still people out there who believe keeping themselves until marriage. Until marriage. Each his own. So
even if you start off afresh. Yeah. Even if you didn't before.
Even if you didn't before.
You decide to abstain or be celibate.
And celibate. Like, look at, we did Ready to Love. I mean, Liz said she's going to be celibate until she gets married. So Jose may be one of those people who hadn't gotten into that yet, but he mentioned sexually several times. All right, Jose meets his mother, and to me, the whole wedding, Jose looked like he was about to cry. I mean, nothing wrong with crying at the wedding, nothing wrong with being emotional, but he looks like he was getting ready to cry. You know, his mother had to encourage him. She's like, "I'm proud of you, son. You're a great son. You're doing a good job. Let's go ahead and, you know, let's get together. You know, let's do one for the team. You know, let's do one for the team." So we see he's getting ready. He's getting pumped up for the wedding. Rachel, while she's getting ready, she does a vlog, you know, to Jose. She's talking to Jose, like, you know, that, you know, kind of that she was hurt from. That she was hurt from her last relationship, that she hopes everything works well here.
Yes.
I just hope that this last relationship situation doesn't play a big role in their current relationship.
Yeah.
Because, again, I mentioned 6 months. She doesn't seem like she's healed from the last relationship. They both look at each other and come down the aisle. I mean, he likes what he sees.
Yes. And this was the part that I was like, oh, here we go again. I think it was Mirla. Was it Mirla? I can't remember which one. But so she gets down the aisle. He looks happy about what he sees, grinning all over himself. And he greets her and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you look gorgeous. You look beautiful." And she says, "Thank you."
Yeah, you miss an opportunity.
She didn't say anything back. I was like,
which later goes into his insecurities.
Yes.
His insecurities, because now I'm sitting here, I tell you that you look beautiful. Hey, Jackie, by the way, you do look nice.
because this was not the only time. It was another time he says it again, and she missed the opportunity to compliment him. We're talking about somebody with insecurities. And she doesn't know that, but he does.
He does.
And he almost, when you had an insecurity, you almost want to be like, you know, okay, she doesn't know me that well. She's probably nervous. It's not anything personal.
But his mind might never think like that. So if
that's why I said, you have to go through this process, but all the time we're not able to do that. So in that moment, you're like, oh, she doesn't like me.
But I mean, it's just normal. If I tell you, you know what, you look beautiful today, Jackie, you would say, "Oh, Glenn, by the way, you look handsome." That's cute. You both say, "Glenn, by the way, you look handsome." See, again, opportunity failed, right?
I did that on purpose. That was for example.
Nah, that's for example. But again, just out of common courtesy, you would say the other person looked nice. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. See, it doesn't take much, but you got to be thinking about it. And as you mentioned, she may not have been thinking about that, or may not have been thinking about that at the time of them getting married. So she wasn't the only one, because I believe it was, it wasn't Michaela, but like you said, I think it was Marilyn and Gil. And that said that. So I think they were just so caught up in the moment of the wedding that they forgot, that she forgot to say that. You know, they did something that we never saw. They did a lasso ritual.
Yes. They both wanted to do a lasso ritual with a big rosary. They went around both of them. But I guess they didn't show that part. It wasn't just putting it on each other. I'm sure it was like, you know how you see sand ceremonies, or I'm trying to think of something else. It's like a sand ceremony. I'm sure there was something attached to that. Maybe like the tea ceremony.
Where it ties them together.
Yeah. but we didn't get to see the officiant say anything.
Yeah,
which that's what you were talking about. Just the same officiant. He married somebody else.
Yeah,
I think it was Jac and Michaela.
Yeah, I saw him before. You know, Jose mentioned that he is attracted. He attracted to her.
Obviously,
he is very attracted to her. When they get outside, they play a game. Rachel wanted to play a game, and the game was, you know, you name something and see if they both like it. So
yeah, let's see what we got in common.
Let's see what we got in common. You know, they both were from Houston, so they're Houstonians.
Born and raised,
both Houstonians. And then they both like, he like, well, do you like sporting events? And she was like, yes.
She said, I went to the World Series by myself.
Which I was like, you know what? That's the girl after my own heart.
If
nobody else goes to the sporting event, guess what? You go by yourself.
He was like, wow, for real?
You should let me know. I would have met up with you.
That was cute.
I thought it was cute. They both at the World Series. You know, Jose mentioned that he got everything she wanted.
Okay, let me say this to you. They both speak Spanish.
Oh, they both speak Spanish. That's all.
And he wanted somebody, they both work out. That's a big.
Yeah, they both work out.
So on and that's what she said to him. She was like, "Oh my gosh, we're like the same," and she made a point to say how people sometimes are like opposites attract. And she was like, I did not want that. I want somebody that was similar to me. And Jose agreed. He was like, yeah, no, I don't like that. I want somebody that we can share interests. It's not that you don't have to battle, differences. So that was good for them.
Well, they are kind of a little bit different, but not in every aspect. They'd like to do. They like some of the same things, so they can work out together. They can watch sports together. They got the fundamentals. They got the fundamental stuff here. Here is the kicker. This is what we wanted. That she said. And Rachel mentioned that she is not into looks, but personality. He said, I got everything I asked for and that I wanted when I saw you. She said, I did too. Because I'm not really into looks. I'm into personalities. And, I got what I asked for. He was like, are you trying to say I'm not a looker? Are you trying to call me ugly? What he said? All that went swirling in his head. All his insecurities came out.
And I had to put it in perspective when we were talking. I was like, I think she was saying that when they asked me what's my type, I wasn't like, I want them tall. I want them dark hair. I want this. I want that. She was like, I just want somebody whose personality I can get with this. And she's getting that from him. Not saying that I don't want a looker.
Right. And not saying that he's not a looker, because she goes back. It goes back later on. She says that he is handsome. So she does say later on he's handsome. But the initial conversation, he was like, "What are you trying to say?"
Messed him up bad. When they went to take pictures, like homie couldn't hardly smile.
He couldn't get himself together.
She was like, the photographer's like, just relax, calm down, get into it. And you could tell by the pictures, eventually he did, but at first he was like, all in his head. Get out your head, bro.
And the vignette showed, his little vignette was like, my wife don't think I'm attractive.
She did not say that.
She didn't say that. But again, that was his interpretation of it, that, hey, didn't think it was attractive. They get together and they talk, and they're talking again. Jose mentioned that he kind of gets what he wants. Mm-hmm. This is where I was like, hold on for a minute, because the way he said it was, it's like,
I know what I want and I get what I want.
I know what I want and I get, and he sounded like, it's like when you watch the movies and that rich guy that has never been told no, that he gets whatever he wants, he gets, whether it's he wants somebody else's wife, or he wants his house, or he wants his car. To me, that's where it came off, and she was kind of looking like, hold on for a minute. Mm-hmm. Like, what? To me, red flag there. Is Jose gonna be one of those guys where this is, because remember, he has a list. Mm-hmm. Because they talked about this list. He has a list, and so he wants her to be this type of way. Controlling? You want to call it that? Will he be one of those controlling guys that hey, come here. This is what I want my wife to do, and then she talks about that. Like, I think my husband has a view of what marriage should be like, not what we should do together, but his view. And you don't see, I don't like to say that. You see guys do that, but you also see women do that as well. Yeah. That have a list of things, and I need my husband or wife to check off every box. Again, to me, my thought here, why would you go on Married at First Sight if you had a list? They're not going to check off every box.
Absolutely.
Common sense lets me know, if I watch this show, halfway watch the show, They're not gonna check off every box on the list. That's just me. But do you think Jose's expectations are too high?
I don't know. Rachel was feeling that way. She's feeling that way.
Do you guys think Jose's expectations are too high? Let us know in the comment section. Is Jose expecting too much from Rachel, or is Rachel over exaggerating? So, Jose. This is the funny part too, because they talk to the parents about sex night. Well, Rachel's talking to Jose's parents about it, and Dad was like, just wait, relax, be, take it easy. His stepmom.
Man, she's funny to me.
His stepmom is she's like, who's that? Henry's dad.
Man.
Yeah, she's like, hey, whatever goes. If y'all want to do it, hey, why? Hey,
I was like, Julie, calm down.
She was like,
Julie was going in.
She was like, go for it. If it's for you, then let it be for you. If y'all gonna do it, then go ahead and do what you're doing.
Jose Sr. was kind of very chill, and like he almost looking at Julie like, be quiet.
Yeah.
That was funny to me. I had a whole act I played out with Julie, but I can't go into that.
You can't go into that. But Julie is funny to us, and I think Julie.
One thing I like too about at the reception, and I'll say this with a few of the couples. So clinking on the glasses, you know what that means. A lot, maybe you don't know necessarily till you get there. So they're clinking on the glasses, and Jose and Rachel like, oh, okay, they want us to kiss. Everybody in there, well, not everybody, most of them are Spanish speakers, so it's like, beso, beso, beso. So they kiss.
Yes.
They kiss. Matter of fact, they shared several kisses. Like, it's obvious that Jose is feeling Rachel. He can't keep his lips.
Is he really feeling her?
I think he's probably hot to trot, too. I called him hot to trot.
He's hot to trot. He is ready for sexual relations.
He's hot to trot. And I was like, oh, he gonna kiss her several times. But he did. So then there's another couple, our other Spanish-speaking couple. Mm-hmm. They get the clink, 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 clink. And Gil is like, what's that mean? And they were like, you gotta kiss her. Beso, beso. Clink, 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 clink. And Gil is like, I want to kiss her. Like, I like to, And he was like,
I wanted my first kiss to be this way.
Yeah. I already didn't get one at the altar. Clink, 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 clink. And the groomsmen are like to their left. And Mirla literally looks at them and was like, no, sir.
No, sir.
Not today.
You can kiss.
Ain't gonna get it.
You can get right
he
here.
kissed me on the cheek. And in the vignette, Gil is like, shot down.
Shot down.
And so she lets him kiss her on the cheek. And he's like, I'll give you one back. So she did kiss him back. I was like, come up. She was basically, that was some, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm not gonna kiss this man. It's fresh. I don't know him. But it was more so a lot of, y'all don't tell me what to do.
But she also setting a standard.
Yes.
Again, it may be rigid, but she's setting her standard. So since you went to Mirla and Gil, let's continue on with them.
Yeah, because that's one thing he did talk about. So he sits and they talk to each other's friends.
Yeah.
And that's one thing he said, I'm going to go at her pace. Whatever's comfortable for her. Because my thing is, I'm into passion. If it's not passionate, like I'm not going there. I'm not going to do it just to do it. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, I'm willing to wait until we get to that point, when she's comfortable.
When she's comfortable. Again, Mirla. I'm going to have to say Mirla. We saw a lot of, you guys say she's bougie. I saw a lot of, you saw her personality in this episode. Mm-hmm. And when we review it, I base off episodes. So next week, I did not even like her. But today, I'm just saying, on this episode, she showed some personality. She showed that she was down to earth. I'm not saying she's Jenny from the block, but she showed that she was down to earth and that she had some good qualities and good character about herself, and some good standards. They took great pictures. It was close to each other. She really was engaged to him. She embraced him a little bit. Matter of fact, they even held hands.
Yeah. I was surprised at how comfortable they were with taking pictures.
Yeah.
I was really surprised, but
she asked him, are you a hand holder? He was like, yeah, I hold hands. And she reached out and she grabbed his hand.
Yeah,
so
he was like, if you want to, yeah, I'll hold hands.
And Gil was a gentleman, said if you want to. So again, she's engaging with him and she's She mentioned that her husband is handsome, that she is attracted to him, even with the bald head, that she does like him, that he, you know.
She actually told him that to his face. You know, you had kind eyes, like you smile or whatever, and that's what I liked.
That you cleaned up real well.
Yes.
Oh wait, not you got you close cut or you clean cut.
Yeah. Fast forward at the reception. He pulls her chair out, pushes her chair up. She was like, "Is that you all the time or is that just now?" He was like, "I'm always a gentleman. I open every door. Car doors, doors to buildings, pull out chairs." He was like, "That's me. Every day. All day. Real dude."
Right. A real dude. Like, yo, that's what I do. But again, that's what she likes. So if she likes that and he's going to continue, again, I say any relationship, the way you start a relationship is the way that you got to continue. So if you pulling out chairs on day 1, you should be pulling out chairs on day 19. I still pull out chairs every once in a while if I don't forget. But I do 85% of the time. Look at the straight. There you go. I got to get better with the other 15%.
Most of the time we sit in booths, so.
But I let you get to choose where you want to sit, whether it's the inside of the booth or the outside of the booth. It's okay though, whichever way you want to roll. I'm fine. I just don't sit with my back to the door. It is what it is. I like to see what's coming in. Again, that's just my personal thing. Anyway, let's move on. But no, when they was talking, Gil was like, you know what? She had pretty eyes. Mm-hmm. That he really liked her eyes. He was attracted to her when he first saw her. One thing he said was he really liked her lips.
She got nice full lips.
She has a nice full lips.
And he really, that was the stress. He wanted to plant one on them nice full lips. But she was not having it.
Nice full lips.
Hopefully he'll be able to do that quite a few times as we go along.
But again.
But from the preview, didn't look like it.
No, it don't look like it. I mean, she might be Jeopardy. Stranger danger. Stranger danger. But anyway, she felt comfortable dancing with him. When they danced on the dance floor, their first dance, she was real comfortable. Let him embrace her. They got real close. So that was one of the things that was good for her. Again, she's showing her personable side. She's showing that she is not stuck up as most people think she is. Maybe she has some things she's stuck in her ways, or she's set in her ways, but that she is kind of can let her hair down at times. Yeah.
So her friends talked to Gil. Because, again, you go talk to the other person's family. It was like, was it anything that you were concerned about? This is her brother, Juan. I think his name is Juan.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you were concerned about, when with everything going on? And Gil was like, the designer stuff kind of bothered me. I'm a dress-up guy, but I'm not necessarily into designer clothes. So that was a little concerning to me. And Juan was like, you know what? She works hard. She makes the money, so because she works so hard and so much, she doesn't always have the opportunity to reward herself like she could. And so that's her reward to herself. If she splurges on those designer things, that's what she does.
But again, you got to realize her backstory, she comes from a life where she did not have.
You're right.
Right? We know somebody right now who comes from a life that didn't have and they got too much. Right? And so again, when you don't have, it becomes a psychological thing to let me not ever go back to that. And man, no one ever said, because people are talking about all the stuff that she buys. Well, maybe she can afford it and she's smart with her money.
Yeah.
Doesn't say she can't afford it and she's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Right. It's not saying that she is in much debt. Right? She may be like Jose, where everything is paid off and I can afford to buy Prada. I can rock Gucci and Louis Vuitton. There's nothing wrong with being successful and having that type of stuff. And being able to put it in perspective. If that's what I can afford, I rock that. You know what I'm saying? So again, there's nothing wrong with her having that. And again, if he's a modest type person, cool. She doesn't have to bring her level down to his modesty or his level.
What? But I
she shouldn't force him to come up to hers.
And say that's what I was gonna say. That was the other part of the conversation. It was like the concern with her being what Gil's friend goes in on her and it's like, oh, you high maintenance. You like this. You like the concern is that Gil is he's not for a whole lot of spending. That's not how he is. So the concern is not necessarily for them, not necessarily that he's going to bring down her lifestyle. That is a concern a little bit. But more so it's like Gil's not going to be willing to come up. Like he's a strict budget dude.
Yeah.
He's frugal. Matter of fact, I think they called him cheap.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's not fair to have him overextending himself Not for you, because she's going to spend the money on what she spends it on. But to have him coming all out of his pockets extra than what he's used to.
But if they
that's
get,
a concern.
But if they get together and they do it right, that means they're merged together. So again, her lifestyle should still be the same that it is. And he should be, and if he wants to come up, he can. If he wants to stay frugal, thrifty or whatever you want to call it, he can. So because if they bring the two together, they should be on a great path. So it shouldn't that she needs to change her lifestyle unless she's mismanaging her funds. We don't know that yet, but we just know that this is what she likes. And if she was doing well by herself, she should be even doing much better when they come together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna, if you into designer stuff, I'm not gonna change you because, hey, this is what you like. Good. Can we afford it? Let's sit down and do our budget. Does it affect us financially? No, it doesn't. Can you maintain your lifestyle? Good. Are things paid off? Good. Are we not in debt? Fine. Let's maintain the lifestyle and let's keep living like this. Living this way. And we could do, because both of them like to help out charities. So maybe it's like, and do community service. So, okay, let's try to do more in the community service area. But I'm not going to try to change the fact that she has that she wears designer stuff and she's doing well. She works hard. She's a consultant. Basically, she sets her own price. She makes a lot of money. And doesn't mean she spends a lot of money, but she spends money on what she likes that she can afford. Mm-hmm. Hopefully. We'll find that out a little bit later. But that's just, I think sometimes, and to call somebody high maintenance because they take care of themselves on a certain level, because they have money, I think that's a cheap shot. Because if you had that type of money, or a person had that type of money, would you take care of yourself on that level if you can afford it?
Well, some people don't.
Some people don't.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have the money, that don't mean I'm gonna blow the money.
Is that really blowing though? But it's taking on. For
some people, it is.
But it's the mindset of though.
Right.
Because my $200,000 a year, and I live off the $200,000. I'm not saying I make $200,000 a year, but the $200,000 off the year, $200,000 of the year, and I maintain my lifestyle. And at the end of the year, I still have money. Again, it's like an NBA player, his millions. He give away 100,000. It's like giving away 100. Mm-hmm. So her 200,000, and she spent 150 on, like Brianna spent 150, $200 on her hair getting done. Somebody $200 is a lot of money to get their hair done, because they don't have $200 coming in. But if you making $200,000, making $200,000 is nothing.
Right.
So it depends on your lifestyle and your level.
That's definitely gonna be a bone of contention with them. I see that right now because he's a firefighter too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if they come together, it should work. The thing is, they have to come together, and he shouldn't let this be an issue that she liked designer stuff. Because again, she liked designer stuff before she met you. This is what's her level. This is where she's accustomed to living. So we'll see. She should keep that. She should keep the way she living.
We'll see as the season goes along.
We'll see as the season goes along. One thing you mentioned earlier that Gil says, he doesn't mind if the sex thing happens, it happens. One biggest issue that they had was this, and I really want to get on this one a little bit too, is the last name.
Oh, yeah.
The last name situation. She asked Gil what's his last name, and Gil... Cueto. Alright? And Gil was like, I would like you to... asked her what's her last name, her full name, she gives us the name. Mm-hmm. And he was like, would you like to take my last name? Yeah,
and she was like, that's not something I actually really thought about a lot. But she said her thing is like, just like Michaela, her father has passed away. Mm-hmm. So, in giving up her name, she feels like, I'm giving up a piece of him. Like, I want to have a remembrance of him. But, that's something they'll come to later. But she was like, I realized that my husband is a traditionalist when it comes to that. He said, I want my wife to take my last name. And there's ways you can do that. You can hyphenate, but they can just talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely. You can talk about that later. It is a way you can do it. I mean, we had that when we got married a little bit. Somebody hyphenated their last name.
I did.
Until I proved myself, and then she.
No,
I'm just kidding.
That was not it at all.
I'm just joking. I know what.
Our last name. I have I don't want to say it's unique, but you don't always find a lot of people with my last name. So you're not gonna always name. My maiden name. So the combination, I was like, and my first name is spelled different than you usually would think. You know what I'm saying? So those two together, I was like, his last name is a little more common. So I was like, it's going to be a whole lot of Jackie Blanks. So I'm going to get confused with Jackie Blank. So I'm going to hyphenate my last name. Well, let me tell you something. And it wasn't because, I'm telling the truth, it wasn't because of him that I changed it. But hyphenating it, I got mixed up with 2 people on my job. They had the same, like, last name and first name, different variation. And then somebody was hyphenated. I was like, you know what? This is not going to work. I'm going to just drop it.
I didn't really care. Personally,
I'm gonna just drop it.
Be honest with you, I didn't care.
It had a nice. It still got a nice.
I didn't care if it was hyphenated or she took on the last name. Either way, it was still there at the end of the day.
Yeah, so, it wasn't not taking his name at all. That was. Yeah, I was absolutely going to be his last name.
Yeah, it was not taking. That's my. Now, if not taking it all, we got a problem.
Yeah,
now,
no.
Hyphenating it, I don't have an issue at all.
Yeah, so that should be good.
So let us know what you think. Is hyphenating your name a problem in your relationship if you married your husband or wife? Is that an issue? Let us know. I don't even want to ask it like that. We want to know, like, how many of y'all are like traditionalists? Like, I'm absolutely going to take his last name, or are you like, no, I want to keep mine? I don't want to get into it. Is it a good or bad thing? Just what did you do, or what would you do? What would you do?
That's it.
Yeah. Again,
because that could start a whole debate.
Oh, it starts the whole.
You know about it. So
that's a whole big. That's a whole big debate. That's a big issue.
The one thing, okay, as we leave from Merla and Gil, they made the reception. We talked about the fact that, she didn't kiss them, but they're vibing pretty well. And so they leave the party on a fire truck, obviously.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah,
they left on a fire truck.
Fire truck was pretty neat. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Well, let's go. You want Bow and Johnny?
Yes. And the main things that I want to say with Bow and Johnny. So Bow and Johnny, they talk about, Johnny talks about being affectionate. I'm a touchy-feely person.
I can feel him on that.
I don't know why that just made me laugh so hard.
Because I'm touchy-feely. No, I'm not touching her hand. Now, hands up here.
But Johnny was like, I'm affectionate, I'm touchy-feely. And Bow's like, nope, not me. Could do without it. And Johnny was like, his thing was, a touch from somebody lets me know that they're into me, that they're attracted to me, that they're there with me. There is a confirmation. What's the other word I want to say? When I feel that physical touch. And Bow is like, yeah, no.
Bow says she likes acts of service. She likes when you do things, or you like acts of service, or she likes to be, I don't want to use catered to. I don't want to use catered, but she just like acts of service. Yeah. So she likes acts of service, and Johnny likes to be touched. And
that was one thing that he talked to her family about, because we know she's got several brothers, and then she's got the roommate Van, and who is like a brother. He's actually not her brother, like a brother, but they're all very close. So it's like 5 guys that that Johnny was talking to, and Van was like, she's not touchy-feely at all. I don't know how you're going to deal with that.
She didn't grow up that way, though.
Yeah, they were like, well, do y'all ever hug her? Does she let y'all hug her? And they were like, no.
That was quite, no, that was like this.
He was like, I'm the type of person that whenever I leave my friends or my family, he's like, I have to go around and be like, all right, see y'all later. Like, I have to touch them, be like, all right, I'll see you later. And they were like, no. Nah,
not at all.
How are you going to deal with that? And, like, Johnny's in a quandary. Like,
because, again, you dig into this. If a guy who's touchy-feely, right? And I know...
In a good way,
in a good way, touchy-feely. And you never meet that need, he feels rejected.
Yes.
And so, if he's not a strong brother or a strong guy, rejection could come. And I'm not saying strong. If he doesn't know how to handle it right.
Well, I think it's a twofold thing. It don't have to be him handling it, but she's going to have to get out of her comfort zone and know that my husband likes to be touched. Even if it's just a little something. If we sit on the couch, shoulder to shoulder. She's going, it can't be, and that's for people out there and for Bow and Johnny. I know they're not necessarily listening, and they're after this point, but it has to be a compromise. So Johnny can't expect as much physical touch as he's used to, but he should expect some. And Bow can't expect to not do any physical touch. She's going to have to do some for it to work. But anyway, I don't know how anybody is in a relationship in any way, shape, or form where you with somebody that don't like to touch.
touch me.
What? How are you connecting intimacy? Like, I'm wondering how you even having sex with somebody you don't like to touch.
But I mean, even simple things like holding hands, as you mentioned, brushing up against, putting your arm around them, whatever the case may be. Hey, have a great day, love you. You know, stuff like that. It's again, it does a lot. People don't really think it does. It does a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to do it to the point sometimes they just like, why you say you love me? Just because it came across my mind. Mm-hmm. You know, just because, again, I do some things, and I hate not to get morbid here. I tell her I love her and I want to hug because there's going to be eventually a day that we won't love or hug each other or say it.
Well, won't be able
to say it.
Because one won't be there.
One won't be there. You know, again, so you get as much opportunity as possible to share love and compassion with the person that you're with. Mm-hmm. So, again, so you have to take those moments and be with those moments and embrace those moments. And I hopefully Bao will turn around and learn
But that's like unbreaking a lifetime of habit.
And same thing with Johnny. Johnny has to make sure he does acts of service with Bao, because I think if you do your partner's love language, they should kind of open up and do yours.
Yeah.
And it should be like the key, because
that's the key. You have to love them in their love language, not in what you receive.
Right, and love them in their love language.
The one other thing I want to say about Johnny is that he said he never really, he talked to Bao's friends about the fact that they were both in charge of the Vietnamese Student Association. Mm-hmm. And he never really thought about her like that. On the flip side, Bao said, I was kind of crushing on Johnny.
She's crushing on Johnny.
I was crushing on Johnny, so...
But she had a crush, so she was crushing on him. He looked at her like, oh, this is Bao, nice girl.
Right.
Head of the Vietnamese Association, but Bao was like, oh, what about Johnny?
Right. So
so again, there's relationships there. There's infatuation there, or whatever you want to call it. But there's something that's there, and hopefully they can get it together. One thing I do want to mention, that their celebration on their way out was kind of cool.
My gosh!
They had the Dancing Dragons, which was great.
They had the whole their wedding, everything, even their reception, it was so unique. Like, we've never seen this before on Married at First Sight, and I love every bit of it. Even when they got to the honeymoon suite, they had the red and the gold
on
their bed, like from their tea ceremony. Like, I was like, I'm here for it. I love it.
Oh, speaking of, we forgot Rachel. We made me think about something. Rachel and Jose, when they get to their room, Jose kept his bow tie on, talking about he's want to be a Chippendale.
But before that, I was like, what's around his neck? Is that still his bow tie? Before he even said that, I was like, let me find out. He trying to do a little stripper thing. And he said that. He was like, I was going to do a Chippendale. I was like, you know what, bruh.
Jose had the little abs and everything he worked out.
She was like, you still got your... He was like, oh, yeah, I know.
He tried to live his fantasy out.
Hilarious.
He tried to live his fantasy. Look, you got to read between the lines.
Y'all trying to get his swerve on that night.
He tried to live his fantasy out.
I don't know when the last time Jose had some.
But he was trying to get some.
I promise you.
So he was there.
They was hugged up in the bed when it was time to go to sleep.
They were hugged up in the bed. They was hugged up in the bed. Bao was hugged up. Well, they was in the bed. Because they put the little barrier there.
But because he usually...
Sleep with a body pillow.
Johnny usually sleeps with a body pillow. And she was like, well, this will be a good barrier for us. I feel like she was trying to be funny a little bit, but she meant this song.
She meant that thing. And so it was a barrier, because she's called a little dam right in the middle. It was right in the middle of both of them. And she didn't want no parts.
Oh, and speaking of Bao and Johnny, though, I do want to say this. It was the never-ending buttons on her dress for me.
Oh, yes.
I was like, it got to be a zipper in there somewhere. Who buttoned her up?
I don't know.
I don't ever... Well, you can do what you want to do. I would never get a dress that's all buttons. Because the other thing is, it has to be close when you have a dress with buttons like that. So they're all like one after the other. And he looked like he was fumbling with them fingers.
He said, if I was in the mood for sex,
I'm not after all these buttons.
I'm not after all these buttons. So it messed them up, But again, their wedding ceremony was good. And we to the last couple. Zac and Michaela.
Yes.
Zac and Michaela, man, they had a good time. They shared a lot of discussion at the wedding.
The reception.
At the reception, they engaged a lot. To the point where their friends, you know how you like watch it, like there was like the three little old ladies over there trying to commentate.
It was hilarious.
Oh, you know they like each other. Look at them.
It was two of Michaela's sisters, and then we're assuming a friend, maybe a cousin.
Yeah.
And I promise you, Michaela's sisters are eating, and she was like, not eating. Like, I can't even eat. I'm so wrapped up in what they're doing. She's like, look at them. Look, they talking. Look. She putting a fork to her mouth. Duh. But that was funny to me.
Yeah, they were having a good time and and conversing with each other. Then it goes into the question about, Zac asked Michaela what was her longest relationship. Mm-hmm. She said it was 364 days. Yep,
he broke up with her before they got to the 65.
Before they got to 365, and she mentioned that it was he really wasn't her type. Mm-hmm. That she was just basically going through the motions. And made Zac ask how long ago was his relationship. And she's like, oh, it was 2017. So he was kind of relieved that it was a long time ago, because he didn't have to deal with the issue of being so close.
Right, but she also kind of shared that, that was my last relationship, but it's not like I ain't been dealing with nobody.
Right, because they cut that part. That was the edit. You can see the way it cut, where she was kind of basically telling them, you know what, I dealt with other people. Basically, she probably said I had friends with benefits. They didn't want to show that part.
Right.
And
he was like, oh, okay, all right.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah,
We find out later that his longest relationship was 6 months.
6 months.
And Michaela's sisters was kind of like, 6 months? That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing.
That's a drop in the bucket.
How old are you? He says 27. You know how old she is. He was like 30. He was like, but I like that. He said, I dealt with women that were younger than me. He was like, I like the maturity level of an older woman. It's only 3 years. But I like the maturity level of an older woman. I'm here for it. They were like, okay, all right.
Yeah, it was here for it. And then they have a conversation. They have a conversation again. Zac talks to when they're meeting. He was picked on a lot in school. Mm-hmm. That he was kind of picked on in school because
all boys school,
Catholic school,
predominantly
white.
Yes,
he was picked on because of the color of his skin, because he was darker.
Then, which I thought was funny. He said, "I'm darker than the average black person." What? There's no average black person color. Like, we come in all shades of the rainbow brown.
All shades,
even to black.
Right. But
like for real black.
His intent, Michaela said, well, it doesn't work. It's okay, but I like it.
She was like, I love that beautiful brown skin.
I love that beautiful brown skin.
I love it. I am here for it, Michaela.
Yeah,
now she's the hot to trot in this relationship. Okay.
Oh man, but they have they like each other. They got some good attributes. Zac has some great attributes. Their conversations are deep and they're honest right now. They're genuine right now. They're funny. They're laughing at each other.
They're going, Zac's family is funny. When Michaela goes to talk to Zac's family, it's like, how did you feel about it? And his dad was like, I wasn't really with the beep bleep. He was like, what the bleep bleep?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Dad, drop the bombs.
Drop the bomb. Dad had...
Drop the expletives, please.
They both said they were happy for Zac. They're happy for Zac. They think Michaela's good. Zac's mom talked about,
she went in about him. He's this, he's this, he's this. He's high energy. He's this. And to the point where Michaela was like, good Lord, did he sound like to me, I felt like he was all over the place. And Michaela looked, it might have been the edit too, but I think she was looking like, good gosh, this a lot.
Mama gave every attribute that Zac ever had.
Every last one.
Any attribute that he could. She was like she's laying on, like she's trying to sell Zac to Michaela. She's selling Zac to Michaela. Like, hey, this is what he is.
They don't want him back. They don't want pre-marriage Zac, because pre-marriage Zac was fixated on marriage.
But he's married now.
I know,
and so
they don't want post-marriage Zac, because oh Lord,
there's gonna be trouble. He can't come back to my house. I'm sorry. But again, Mom sold her, and so Michaela was like, "Dang, that's a lot." That is a lot. But Zac does care about Michaela early and often. This is what's funny to me. They get into the hotel room. Mm-hmm. They get to the hotel room, and go ahead.
Let's talk. I'm gonna let you go there.
Okay.
So the one thing we remarked about, my husband commented on, every groom carried his wife in the room except
Zac. Oh.
No, was it? Do you remember? You were like, why he didn't carry his wife?
No, I can't remember. Was it Brett?
I don't know, but you remarked about that. But my whole point is, Zach carried Michaela in the room, and he like dropped her on the bed.
I want to say it was Brett. I want to say Brett was the one he didn't carry. Excuse me, Ryan didn't carry Brett. I did that again. Ryan didn't carry. I want to say Ryan didn't carry Brett.
Yeah, but yeah, one of the couples didn't. But Zach was like, boom.
Yo.
He dropped her on the bed with them flowers, and they in the bed chatting. And Zach looks over and he's like,
hold up, the candles, let's set the atmosphere. The candles were lit.
Yeah, boy.
Had candles everywhere. He's laying in the bed first because he lays on her chest. He lays like right in her midsection, right about here.
Yeah,
so
he's like, it's a nice place to lay.
It's like a nice place to lay. And so he's setting it up. He
looks over to the left.
He looked over to the left and he said, oh, man, they did a good job in here, but they even left condoms.
A big cup of condoms.
A big cups of condoms.
I think they're hoping we catch the hint.
They're hoping we catch the hint.
They're trying to tell us something.
And then the edit goes into the point, yeah, you can get out that dress? Let me help you out of the dress.
That's the thing, too, is when Zach was like, when she got out of her dress and she puts her night clothes on, he was like, I didn't know that was under the dress.
I did not know.
He was like, it's nice for me to see my wife in her regular everyday clothes with her hair down and without her makeup on, because she's a pretty girl.
She still had her lashes on.
But she's pretty anyway. But he was like feeling the pajamas. He was like, yeah, I can just see the little shape she got. Mm-hmm.
And she did a little
dance. That couple condoms just calling me.
She did a little dance for him.
Yeah, she did a little shimmy.
Did a little shimmy, shim. And again, a little shimmy for him, and he was ready to go. Zach was like, you know what? let's. And because to be honest, Michaela was giving some of those vibes a little bit earlier too.
But we already know she ready to go because she just cut her bed buddy off when she found out she got matched.
Yeah.
So one thing I can surmise is that Michaela is sexual, and she might not have been in a relationship, but she was absolutely getting some.
She was getting some, and so Zach was ready to get some too. So we'll find out. I guess the preview showed that they had a good night. Apparently they had a good night.
We don't know which night that was, but they had a good night.
They had a good night. So we leave it right. We leave it right there. Leave it right there because Michaela and Zach had a good night.
Yes.
They get off. Everybody go off to their hotels and they Rolls Royces and different things of that nature. We see the previews, and the preview shows that this season of Married at First Sight is going to be explosive. We previews show that we do get to see Hurricane K. Mm-hmm. All right, we get to see Hurricane K. We get to see some other things, some good moments and some bad moments. Seems like there's a lot more bad moments than good moments. You guys,
they always set us up like that.
They do set us up a little bit, but you guys, this way it looks like it. Season 13 looks like it put season 12 to rest.
I don't know.
Season 12, we just had one. We had a couple. That was kind of.
But rough. That one wasn't even explosions. Like, I feel like we really didn't have that many explosions per se.
Yeah.
And most of the explosions were, with one person in particular against other people. But that was just a bad relationship period. I feel like we're going to get some more explosions, not necessarily just a bad relationship. Like, I don't like her. She's not attractive to me. Well, we had a couple of those, actually. But I feel like we're not going to get that as much as we might get the explosions.
Yeah.
It won't be that I'm not attracted to you. I don't think you're nice looking.
It's going to be more relationship type stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be more relationship stuff, which we're here for.
That's what it looks like.
We're here for the relationship stuff because we can talk about the relationship stuff. So make sure you don't miss any of our reviews by hitting that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Let us know what you thought of the weddings, what you thought of the receptions.
And tell us which bride didn't get carried over the threshold.
Yeah, which bride didn't get carried. Yeah, somebody's going to let us know anyway, but I believe it was Brett that didn't get carried over the threshold. Had to go back and look. Thank y'all guys for helping me out last week because it was a Ryan giving flowers to Brett's mother-in-law.
Well, we came to that. Came to that
conclusion. But I just like I like to thank the viewers for doing the research.
Thank you, but see, you try to be funny. You helped him out.
You helped me out. Thank you.
You clarified for me, so
help me prove a point.
I mean, I watched it after we finished, but thank you.
Thank you very much. Hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for all the guys in the
and for the compliments on my hair. Y'all are something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I like it.
In the comments, for those in the chat, thank you very much as well. We got some new things coming out. We got some merch coming, so be on the lookout for that as well. So hit the subscribe button, bell notification, and we'll catch you guys down the road. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.